Dear learners, welcome to LMTI learning series. Dear learners, welcome to LMTI and we are just learning the Maven and it's series number 7. So in today's session, we are going to discuss about the plugins. So the plugins is the one of the key thing in Maven in the real time. So only with the help of the plugin, so we used to do the execution. And what is meant by plugin? So plugin is nothing but we call it as an collection of one or more goals. So I told in the previous session, if you navigate to the IntelliJ and if you go inside the Maven, we are having something called as a life cycle, and we will be executing this goals in order to do certain operation like clean, or if you need to run the program, so we will be using the goal called as a test. So which is nothing but pretty much we are going to execute the goal. And how we are going to execute this goal in the sense, so only with the help of the plugins. So generally, so the plugin always act as a runner in Maven. Okay, so in a framework like we may have a different runner. So if you are using the cucumber, like you will be having that cucumber runner, or if it is of a TestNG framework, you will be having the XML suit runner. So whatever the runner is, like we can configure the runner in the plugin. So generally, before running any of the script, so like we need to compile the code. So the first plugin like which we need to add is called as an like Maven Compiler plugin. Okay. So we need to add this plugin. So whenever we add this plugin, so it is used to compile the source code of our project. So which is nothing but like in which Java version like you need to execute. So generally in Maven compiler plugin, so we used to provide two things. So one we call it as an source and target. So where we are going to specify the Java version. Okay, and how we are going to add this compiler plugin in the sense, like generally like from the Google, like we can configure all the steps from the official web page. And in order to configure this plugins, right, so we should always create the tag called as an plugins, and under which like we can add the required individual plugin. Okay, as of now like we are going to add one plugin called as an like Maven compiler plugin. Now let's add this Maven compiler plugin. So just go back to the Google and search with the keyword called as an Maven compiler plugin, and you will be get to know the official web page. So probably like I will update this link in the description as well. So once you navigate to this official web page, here you could able to see the statement called as an compiler plugin is used to compile the sources of our project. So which is nothing but like whatever the Java version we are going to use, so it will compile the project with that specific Java version, so which we need to configure in the source and the target. So here you could able to see the hyperlink called as an setting the source and the target of an Java compiler. So just click on the hyperlink, so where you could able to see the usage. Okay, so here they have given the statement called as an configure the plugin directly. So generally, right, we can configure it in the pom.xml. So in the pom.xml, so we should add this particular piece of code. So whenever we navigate to the IntelliJ, right? So we can able to see the pom.xml, and under the pom.xml as of now, like we have configured only the dependencies, and where we have configured the dependencies in the sense inside the project tag. So the project is going to act as a header tag, and you could see we are going to add this build tag under the project tag. So just I'm copy pasting this particular structure from line number 3 to line number 17. I'm just doing the control C, and I'm going to paste it above the dependencies. Okay, so we should create a new tag. So now here there are few errors, like let me just clear this errors. Now you could see after removing that particular piece of line, so which is nothing but just I have removed this line number 4 and line number 16. Suppose that like error in my plugin has been rectified, and if you still face any of the issue, as I mentioned always, like this Maven reload will be enabled. So if you click on this Maven reload, so then the necessary plugin will be configured in our project. Okay, so as of now, like we have added only one plugin called as an Maven Compiler plugin, and this need of the Maven Compiler plugin in the sense like to compile the source code with the specific Java version. So here in my system I am using the Java version 21, so I should change this source and target to 21. So whatever the Java version which you are using in your system, so you should indicate that specific Java version. Okay, so now pose that like we can add multiple plugin. So and all the plugin should be added under the tags called as an plugins. So here I'm going to add a one more important plugin, so which is really needed for the execution, so which we call it as an Maven Surefire plugin. Okay, so only if this plugin is present, like we can execute the test. So in the real time, as our project are configured to the CI/CD tool, and in order to run from the CI/CD tool, so basically like we need to inject the Maven commands. And how we are going to inject the Maven commands in the sense, so only with the help of the plugins. Okay, so we need to add the Maven Surefire plugin in the pom.xml. Like how we can add in the sense, so just go back to the Google. I'm just opening the new tab and I'm searching with a keyword called as an Maven Surefire plugin. So I'm just navigating to the official website. I have updated this link in the description, so you can have a look on it. And then here there is a tab called as an usage. Okay, I'm clicking on the usage. So here they have provided me the usage how we need to configure. So generally like under the project, so like we should create the build tag, under which like we should have the plugin management, and under which like we should have the plugins tab, and then under the plugins we need to add the respective plugin, so or the corresponding plugin. But when we try to copy paste this Maven compiler plugin, so we have already added the build, so and the plugins etc, and under which like we can add only the plugin. So I'm just copying this plugin section. Okay, so I'm just copying the plugin section and I'm just adding the rest of the plugin, so which we call it as an Maven Surefire plugin. So once we add the Maven Surefire plugin, based upon our project, like we need to do the configuration. And in order to do the project configuration, inside this Maven Surefire plugin, I'm just adding the new tag called as an configuration. Okay, so why we are setting this configuration in the sense, because like if it is of an Cucumber framework, like I may need this runner file for the execution, and if it is of an testng, you may require that XML suite for the execution, and we need to provide where this feature file is located, or we can say we should provide the file name or the class name of the respective feature file. And in order to do so, like we are adding the configuration tag, and under the configuration tag, so we should add the includes tag, and under which like we are going to like add the respective file, so which we need to execute. Okay, so here in our case, like we need to execute this feature runner. So like whenever we need to provide any of the specific file, so just add the asterisk symbol, so followed by the class file name with the extension. So we can say like feature runner, and the extension of the class file will be always Java. Okay, so I'm just giving it as an feature runner.java. So which means like if you navigate to the official web page, so here they have given one more line stating that the Surefire plugin can be invoked by calling the test phase of the build life cycle. Okay, so when we call this test phase, the test goal will execute. So whenever the test goal will execute, so it will read the plugin, and whatever the configuration we have provided, it will execute the configuration. So where we have added the configuration to include this feature runner, so which is nothing but it will run this feature runner file. And how we are going to run this in the sense, so only with the help of the command prompt. So just do one Maven reload. So whenever you are adding any of the plugins, right, so please always do the Maven reload. And also, like if you click on this Maven tab, like apart from the life cycle, so you could able to see something called as an plugin. So there are n number of plugins which is already available, so in which like we are going to use this like Surefire plugin. So when we say the and how we are going to execute this Surefire plugin in the sense, so with the help of the Maven goal called as an test. So when we say test, so it will compile and it will execute the corresponding class file. And let's do the execution so that like you will be having the better understanding. So in order to execute, like we need the help of the Maven. So hopefully like in the previous session, like we have already configured the Maven. Now what I'm going to do, so we need to navigate to this project folder path. So just click on this project name, right click, and if you scroll to the down, you could able to see the option called as an opening, and just click on explorer. So it will be navigating to the project path. So our project is called as an LMTI. If I just open this LMTI, so whatever the coding which is available in the IDE will be stored in this local path. So now just click here and type the keyword called as an CMD and click on enter. Automatically the command prompt will be open, and you could see it is pointed to local disk C, like automation tutorials, which is nothing but these are the folders which I have created in my system, and the project name we call it as an LMTI. Okay, so now inside this project, like we are going to use the Maven command, and the shortcut of the Maven we call it as an MVN. And what is the goal we are going to execute here is called as an test. So whenever we say test, so it will read the plugin. Okay, because like whenever it will invoke the Maven Surefire plugin, and under the Maven Surefire plugin we have indicated the configuration. So we have provided the command to execute this feature runner.java. So if you see inside this feature runner Java, so I have configured the path of the feature file and the step definition file, and I have provided the tag, so which is nothing but which scenario I need to execute. Like based upon the tag, the particular scenario will be execute. And if you are unaware of how to use the Cucumber framework, like I have added the tutorials, you can just refer it up. Now let us like run this like command called as an Maven space test. I'm just clicking on enter. So now what it should do, so it will read the pom.xml and pose that like it will identify the specific class file called as an feature runner, and it will execute the respective test. So you could see like we are invoking the test with the help of the command prompt, so which is nothing but we are invoking the test with the help of the Maven commands, and you could able to see the build is successful. Okay, so we are triggering the test from the command prompt. So whenever you are able to trigger the test from the command prompt, then it's directly indicates you can able to trigger the test from the CI/CD server like Jenkins, and those things I will be uploading as a new tutorial in the upcoming days. Okay, so this is how like we will be configuring the required plugin. So I will just repeat once again like what I have did, like in order to execute the script in the real time, so we will be configuring the required plugin. So the Maven Surefire plugin is used to like do the execution. In order to execute the script, we need this Maven Surefire plugin. Whenever we use this Maven Surefire plugin, it will use the command called as an test, so which is nothing but that is a goal of the Maven. So what is the need of this test? In the sense, like in the last class, like we have seen, like it will compile and then it will run the particular script. And in order to compile, so we are adding one more plugin called as a Maven Compiler plugin, and in which under the source and target we have amended the required Java version. And here we have included few pieces of code. So based upon our project, so we are doing the configuration. So which is nothing but we are going to include, so which class file we need to execute, and how we are going to include. In the sense, I'm just adding the configuration tag, and under which I have added the includes tag, and under which I added the singular include tag, and where I have specified the class file name which I need to run. So whenever you are providing the class file name, so please use this asterisk symbol, so that like it will invoke the particular class file, and whatever the coding which is available, so it will execute the specific piece of coding. And like how we have opened the command prompt. In the sense, so just you should navigate to this project path, so just right click on it, and then if you scroll to the down, we could able to see the option called as an opening, and click on the explorer, and just do the just navigate inside the folder and just click over the path and type the command called as an cmd. So automatically the command prompt will be open, indicating the project path, so where we need to execute the command called as an maven test. And even like we can run the command called as an maven clean. So whenever we say maven clean, like it will clear the temp files which is available in our system. You could see it has deleted the temp files, and even like if required, so we can do the maven install. Okay, so we can run the necessary maven goals or maven commands through the command prompt. So hope you are aware now, like how we can trigger the test from the command prompt. Okay, so if you face any issues, so please highlight your issues in the comment section, so I will provide you the respective solution. And thanks for watching this video.